Hello and welcome to Typing Agent. We're so glad that you've chosen to embark your students on our state-of-the-art typing curriculum, where students will learn to type and love the fun they'll be having. Today, we're going to go over the very basics of what it means to be a standalone single school administrator and all of the neat things you can do with the program. First things first, when you log into your Typing Agent account, the first thing you'll see is this page right here. This is called your dashboard. From your dashboard, the first thing we'd like to note is the Demo Student button. This handy feature is designed to let you, the administrator, preview everything we have to offer from a student's eyes. As you can see, everything's already unlocked and open, and you can navigate to virtually any lesson and any curriculum to see exactly what a student does. Please note that this is definitely what we recommend if you'd like to test anything. This account does not impact any of your existing students' grades or progress. When you're done, hit Return to Admin to go back to where you were before. This banner here will let you preview Yeti Academy, our sister program that is an all-inclusive STEM program designed to teach coding, digital literacy, and digital citizenship. For more information, select Help Video to view a tutorial. Underneath that, you can see an overview of how Typing Agent is being used. The four windows here will show you average minutes typed by students per week, average lessons completed by students per week, average percentage of the students in your account who are actually logging in and using the program, and then a testing report, which will show you the diagnostic testing average of each grade level. The graph will show you the usage month by month. From your dashboard, you can navigate virtually anywhere in the program with just a few simple clicks. If at any point you'd like to return to this page, go ahead and click the Dashboard button up here, or you can click the logo up here on the side. To the right of that logo, you'll find your search bar. Now, upon clicking here, you'll be able to filter your search results for staff, classes, or students. If you know exactly who or what you're searching for, you can go ahead and type in the name. Otherwise, feel free to select one of the icons to restrict your search to the exact type of what you're looking for. All the way over here, you have your Curriculum button. In Keyboarding Foundations, curriculums in grades 3 through 12, students are given a placement test, and based on how well they do for their grade level, they're placed on a learning path A through E. When you click on the number of lessons, you can use these buttons to filter through the paths and view the different curriculums that are available to them. To the right of that Curriculum tab, you'll notice a School Reports section. From here, you'll be able to generate and customize a myriad of reports to find exactly what you need. Please note that this is for all classrooms and is meant to be evaluated at a global school perspective. If you'd like to view a report specific to your classroom, you can do that from your specific class. We'll go over that in a bit. To the right of that, you'll find your Admin button. As you can see, when you hover over it, this drops down into a menu. Here is where you'll find your options for school management, classrooms, user management, and the option to upload data. Under School Management, you can adjust various settings for your school, as it is the control seat for how your school is set up. Starting with the Time Settings tab, you'll set your school's time zone, your school hours, as well as the current school year. If you want your reports to be accurate, it's very important that you set your school's start and end dates by selecting each year, clicking on the exact start and end dates on the calendar to activate them, and then hit Save. This will keep last year's data out of your current reports. Then, under the Permissions tab, you'll set limitations or grant access to staff to be able to alter areas of the program, like assigning curriculums, adding in students, and changing accommodations. Under the Grade Settings tab, you'll be able to select a grade and then curate the experience for the students in that grade level. This might include which curriculums they get by default, or whether or not they'll be able to get a placement test or play games while they're typing. The Gradebook is a handy feature that allows you to set what constitutes an A, B, C, or anything else you'd like to set for your grading criteria. If you select a grade, you can edit this for that grade level specifically. The Target Settings tab will allow you to select a grade level, and then from there, you can set the expectations for 1, 2, or 3 stars. Stars are determined by both words per minute and accuracy, and allow students to advance, with 1 star being the lowest passable standards, 2 stars being the median, and 3 stars being the highest. You can also determine how many stars a student will need to move on. We really like to stress that students should earn at least 2 stars, no max retries. This is the most pedagogically sound option that will allow your students to really learn what's going on in their lessons. Grade level scheduled tests are a handy feature that allow you to assign a custom test to an entire grade level. You can create your own content, set a time limit, and create a due date, as well as adjust the day or days that it will be available to your students. Here is where you will be able to see the students who have not taken them. You can access a report to view the results of the students who have. Your school portal is where you will go to customize your school's typing agent webpage, as well as add options for teacher and student self-registration and single sign-on. Finally, Reset Students for New Year will allow you to reset your data as per the next school year, move students up to the next grade level, and archive their progress on an annual basis. Now that we've explored the school management side of things, let's get to managing classrooms. An important thing to note is that you can always navigate to any classroom by clicking on one from the side panel here. You can easily add a classroom individually by clicking the green Add Classroom button above them. If you'd like to minimize this panel, go ahead and click the X. To restore it, click the 3 lines. If your class is scheduled to be working that day, you'll see a star right here next to it. If you'd like to manage classrooms all at once, go back to the Admin button, hover over it, and select Classrooms. Now, if we select a single class, we can view the staff and students, edit the specific information, or delete it altogether. If we select multiple, we can do all but a few of those things. While we'll definitely go into more detail about classrooms in a bit, let's explore the rest of our Admin button. Underneath Classrooms in the drop-down, you'll find User Management. When you select User Management, the first thing you'll see is a roster of all your staff and students. When you select the checkboxes next to any staff or student, you can edit their specific information, edit their classrooms enrollments, view the classrooms they're currently enrolled in, log in as them, reset the password, or delete them entirely. Selecting multiple allows you to do all but a few of those options. If you'd like to add staff or students, you've got a handy Add Students and Staff button up here. This is where you can add them by CSV or one by one. So, looking over here at the right-hand side, we see this graph up here. The percentage bar is a legend of your license usage. The green portion represents how many assigned students are occupying licenses. The blue portion represents free space. The yellow portion represents students who are unassigned, which means students who don't belong to any classrooms and are just taking up licenses. Below that, we find this filter button. The filter button is where you can choose which role you're viewing: all staff, staff by role, all students, and unassigned students. Last in the Admin dropdown, but most certainly not least, we find the Upload option. So scrolling down from here, we'll find 3 prompts to first upload staff, then classes, then students. Please note that while a CSV file is not mandatory for uploading your data, staff, classrooms, then students is the order any data needs to be uploaded in. You do have the option to add your classrooms one by clicking that Add Classroom button, and the option to add your staff and students one by going back to User Management. You can also have your teachers and students register themselves into the program. If you create your staff and students with the same usernames and passwords as their Google accounts, you can also enable Google Single Sign-On. But if you've got a long list of classrooms and personnel to add, CSV files will probably be your best method. Additionally, if you create your CSV file for staff and for students with their usernames as their Google email addresses and their passwords as their Google passwords, you can still use Google Single Sign-On. Scrolling down, you'll find some specific steps to upload your CSV file into the program. I'm going to go step by step because there are lots of little nuances to be aware of. Please note that your staff, classroom, and student CSV files all need to be uploaded in the proper place and will all be formatted differently from one another. This is because we need different information to set up everything accordingly. Also, please remember to save your CSV file as UTF-8. This will help format everything correctly for the most seamless upload. You also have the option here to download a sample CSV file with the correct formatting, to which you can just then fill in your data and upload here. First, let's talk about uploading staff. Before we go any further, I'd like to go over the account roles in Typing Agent. You are a standalone single school administrator. Please note that while you can create multiple school administrators, only one can be the master account holder. School administrators will see the exact same interface as you and will have access to all schools and all accounts in your school. Teachers can only access their own and their students' accounts and can only view their own classes and rosters. So up here, as you can see, we've got a legend of the correct codes to put in for your staff roles. So be sure to assign your staff to a proper role in your CSV. So now, let's scroll down and upload your classrooms. When uploading your classrooms, you'll be asked to generate a class code. Now, this is optional. If you leave it blank, Typing Agent will generate one for you. In that case, you'll have to check that Classrooms tab or go back to your classroom from the left panel before you can move on to the next step. So we recommend filling one out yourself if you're going in order. Alright, finally the moment we've all been waiting for, time to upload our students. Let's scroll down to upload your students. When you can assign them immediately to a classroom with the class code, you'll be able to enroll them in multiple later on. If you leave this class code blank, they'll be categorized as unassigned. It's not recommended you do this. Please also note that if you've got kindergartners, you'll need to enter 0 for the grade. So if you've got your data loaded, now we can move on. To the right of your admin button, you'll see your name. You might notice this arrow indicating that there's a drop-down list of options you can access. Under My Profile, you can change your username, title, password, and the language your interface appears in. Under Account, you can easily view your account license usage, your expiration date, your point of contact for renewal, and your school information. Again, you have another option in the drop-down to view the demo student account. This is to really drive home the fact that if you'd like to test, please use this account. It's so important we just had to include it twice. Underneath that, you've got easy access to our Solution Center from anywhere in the program. I have also included the link in the description down below. Underneath that, you'll find the Logout button, which will, as it suggests, log you out of the program. Let's go ahead now and explore our classes. This is where you'll be making changes to curate students' experience, especially for teachers. When you select a classroom, the first thing you'll see is the name of the classroom, the initials of all the teachers who are instructing it, and the class code, which you can enable or disable for student and teacher self-registration. You've also got the option to add students directly into your classroom, which will allow you to add them not only one by one or by CSV, but by block upload or class code. Then, up here and to the right, you've got this Agent Gadgets menu. There's a lot to see here, so I'll summarize. Add Teachers will allow you to add additional teachers to the classroom. Export Students will allow you to download your roster in CSV format. The editable parent letters in English and Spanish will allow you to print a letter to parents introducing them to Typing Agent. These PDF documents are offline activities geared towards younger students to help familiarize them with the keyboard. These completion certificates are awarded to your students for finishing certain milestones in their curriculums. Create Announcement will allow you to send a message to all of your students that will appear for them upon first logging in. Lastly, Delete Classroom will delete your classroom and unassign your students. If you do this, the students will not be deleted from Typing Agent, but will be unassigned. Under the Students tab, this is where you'll see the roster of your students. Now, just like User Management, when you select the checkbox next to any student, you can adjust their accommodations, view their curriculums, edit their specific information, reset their password, view and edit enrollments, unassign them, log in as them, print their login information in card format, or delete them entirely. You can also print off some of those achievement certificates, and this can be handy if only certain students have earned them. Selecting multiple allows you to do all but a few. The Settings tab is where you'll go to curate the classroom experience. Please note that you can adjust these per individual students, but if you'd like to do them for the whole class, this is where you'll need to go. Under Class Details, you can reset and show passwords, as well as adjust the days that class is in session. Under Curriculum, you can assign and remove curriculum that your students will get by default. Under Target Settings, you'll find this to be the exact same setup as the target settings we saw under School Management. However, in this case, you are setting the target settings standards for this classroom alone. To the side here, you can view the default grade settings that you've set before as a reference for what your benchmarks for your classroom will be meeting. Under Lesson Settings, you will be able to adjust lesson-specific nuances for your classroom as a whole, like mouse lessons in the K-2 curriculum, or whether or not a student will be able to backspace and correct a mistake. Under Games, you can control the conditions required for your students to play in our arcade. You can have them earn grit coins, which they can use to buy game time, have them earn experience points to unlock the arcade, and you can also adjust which games student will see. It's also important to note that if your students are working on an iPad or another tablet, most games will not be available to them. Accessibility options will also allow you to adjust visual and audio accommodations for your classrooms. This will allow things like contrast, font size, single or double-handed typing, and text-to-speech. Digital Citizenship is a curriculum we offer to grades 3 and up in order to teach what it means to act ethically and responsibly online. Because of the nature of this curriculum, we allow the option to lock and unlock certain lessons for students. You can do this one by clicking on the individual tabs or selecting the checkbox to do it all at once. Back to our main list of tabs up here, the gradebook is your virtual report card, where you'll see the time spent, average speed, words per minute, and grades of all students in the classroom. Under Reports, you'll be able to generate class-specific reports, unlike school management reports, which will yield reports for the entire school. Select any of these boxes to find the exact information you're looking for, and if nothing seems to fit, go ahead and check out the custom reports to make one of your own. Underneath that, you will see 2 graphs that will show weekly learning activity as well as average words per minute. Class-level scheduled tests are a handy feature that allow you to create a custom test to the classroom. Like the grade level tests, you can create your own content, set a time limit, and create a due date, as well as adjust the day or days that it will be available to your students. Here is where you will see the students who have not taken them. You can just create a report to see the students who have. Under Activity Log, you can view progress in real time of changes made to your students' accounts by staff, or you can select Student Activity to see what every student is working on all at once. Please remember that class activity is staff activity, where student activity is student activity. Under Notepad, you will see all the submissions from students in their Notepad curriculum, should you choose to enable it. Last but most certainly not least, you'll find another link to our Solution Center right next to Curriculums on the dashboard. This is where you'll go should you have any more questions or to find more specific information on anything we've covered today. Our Solution Center is always growing to better suit your needs and answer any questions you might still have. You can always check out the rest of our YouTube channel for plenty of helpful videos to guide you along. If you find that you're still confused, you can always reach out to us to support via the chat or by emailing us at support@typingagent.com. We hope you have a great time exploring the world of typing with your students as they learn to type and love the fun.